thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Thrilled to be here in Tennessee. Senator Alexander is right. You do have a great governor. I love Bill and Christie Haslam. They are great representatives of this state. And when they asked me to come down here to speak at the Statesman Dinner tonight, I was truly honored and thrilled to be here. But when that happened, I reached out to Senator Alexander and asked if there's any way that I could be helpful to him when I was going to be in Tennessee. And here's why. Because America needs more people like Lamar Alexander. And you have done great service to America. And you could just hear it in just the brief remarks he just made. This is somebody who has a track record through all his years of public service of standing up for good, strong, conservative principles that have helped to make Tennessee a better place and helped to make America a better place. But he's also someone who understands that you need to work with everyone. And boy, let me tell you, do I learn that in New Jersey. I love hearing Senator Alexander being the senior senator and Senator Corker being the junior senator, two Republican senators. We haven't had a Republican United States senator elected in New Jersey since 1972. Now, I don't know what you call a blue state, but if you haven't elected a Republican to the United States Senate in 42 years, it's a pretty blue place. And so what is a conservative Republican governor doing serving his second term as governor of New Jersey? Here's why and how we did it. And this is a prescription that Lamar Alexander figured out a long time ago for our country and that we need to start to listen to as a party. Now, when I ran for re-election, we were coming off a national election where our party didn't win much of anything. And I was coming right in the wake of that in 2013 to run for re-election in a state that Barack Obama had won by 18 points. New Jersey was one of only 3 states in America where his margin of victory was larger in 2012 than it was in 2008. And now I'm a Republican trying to run for re-election. Well, what did we do? What we did was build not only on the record that Governor Alexander talked about, but on the relationships that we had built over the 4 years as governor. See, we need to go to places where we're uncomfortable. Exactly. It's great for me to go to the Chamber of Commerce lunch. I love going there. When I go there, they stand up and cheer when I walk in, they stand up and cheer when I speak, and they stand up and cheer when I leave. It's wonderful for my ego, it's great. But you know what? God love them, most of the people in that room are already voting for me.
That's right.
We need to go to places where folks don't see Republicans often enough.
That's right.
And we need to look those folks in the eye, not once, not just a few weeks before the election, but we need to build those relationships over years.
That's right.
And when you walk in for the first time, they're going to be very skeptical.
Right.
I had a town hall meeting when I was governor in 2012 in a place called Irvington, New Jersey. It's about a 40,000 person city that's 85% African American. And in 2009 when I ran, I got 4.7% of the vote in Irvington. 4.7. And people called me divisive. And I said, divisive? 95% of the people in the town agreed that I shouldn't be governor. That's a uniter, everybody. Unite people. So I went and did a town hall meeting at a Baptist church in Irvington. There were 550 people who showed up for that town hall meeting. And when I walked out there, it was not the kind of reception I got here. It kind of sounded like this. There were a lot of people in that audience with their arms folded and their eyes squinted, looking at me and saying, we haven't seen anybody like you around here before, and we're not sure we like you, but we'll listen. Well, here's 2 things. First, there were 550 people in that church. That was 133 people more than voted for me in Irvington in 2009. And second, when I left, about 2/3 of the audience stood up and applauded. And I went back to Irvington a couple of times after that to campaign. And we now got 14% of the vote in Irvington in 2013. Some people would say, well, heck, it's still 86% of the people voted against you. I said, yeah, but man, I more than tripled my vote. See, we as Republicans need to go to places where we're uncomfortable. We need to reach out to folks who haven't voted for us before. So what happened in 2013? I won the Hispanic vote in New Jersey, 51% of the Hispanic vote in New Jersey. My African American vote was 21%, up from 7% in 2009. 58% of women in New Jersey voted for this pro-life governor. Now, I have to say that if we don't as a party follow the example that Lamar Alexander has been setting, because that's what I was doing. It's folks like Senator Alexander who have been saying that we need to broaden our party, that we need to reach out, and that we can do that without abandoning our conservative principles.
That's right.
And his career has been a monument to that.
That's right.
And so if you're wondering what a guy from New Jersey is doing in Memphis, Tennessee today, I want to stand next to people like Lamar Alexander as often as I can to remind Republicans, independents, and Democrats that the problems in our country are not partisan problems. They're American problems.
That's right.
And we need to come together as a country to fix them. And we're not going to do it by continuing to have the type of divisive activity you see by some folks in both parties
That's right.
in Washington, D.C. The good news for Tennessee is all of you are smart enough not to send anybody like that to the United States Senate. And let's not start getting dumb now, okay? All right, we don't need to do that. Let's not start getting dumb now. Let's stay smart. And Senator Alexander is someone who brings people together. He brings people together around good ideas. He brings people together around issues of character and integrity. And all of you who are in this room know that when you look Lamar Alexander in the eye and he gives you his word, no matter what the political ramifications are, he stands by it. Well, I'll tell you, if we don't need more people like that in political life in America, then you're not looking at the same America I'm looking at. So I'll end with this. I know if all of you are here this morning, on a Friday morning, in Memphis, Tennessee, then you're already a part of the choir. You're already a part of the choir. I am preaching to the converted. I know that. But I heard a Lutheran minister a number of years ago who explained to me the phrase preaching to the choir. I always used to think, as many do, that it's a waste of time. And we'd say that, oh, it's just preaching to the choir. This Lutheran minister explained to us, I preach to the choir. I plead guilty to preaching to the choir. I preach to the choir every Sunday.
That's right.
I preach to the choir so they'll sing.
That's
Now I
right.
finally understood. I finally understood. So I'm preaching to the choir today so you'll sing. So you'll sing to your friends and your family. So you'll sing to your co-workers and your neighbors. So you'll sing to the people that you're going to see this summer on the athletic fields, the folks that you're going to see in the parking lot at church on Sunday, the people that you're going to see in the line at the supermarket. Don't take these babies off. Get more of them. Because you're one of the few people in the state of Tennessee who are going to be able to look at those folks and say, I've met him. I've looked him in the eye. I've taken the measure of his character. And not only am I voting for him, I'm working for him. You're leaders in your community in every way that you can define that word. And when this election comes, people are going to be looking to you, many, say, well, what are you doing? Are you voting? Who are you voting for? When you say, I'm not just voting for Lamar Alexander, I'm working for Lamar Alexander, and I want you to vote for Lamar Alexander also. Let me tell you, it's more powerful than any 30-second ad or any piece of mail in a mailbox. We need those things, but there's nothing more powerful in America than a person like you looking at a neighbor or friend and saying to them, I know this man and I want you to be with him. So I'm in Memphis today because I know this man and I'm with him. And we need more people like Lamar Alexander in the Senate, but before we get more like him, we need to keep him. We'll start with that. So I want to thank you for your hard work. I want to thank you for being a part of a coalition that's going to bring people all across Tennessee together in a common cause to make Tennessee better and make America a better place. And any help that a guy from New Jersey can come and give to folks here in Tennessee to make sure you see it clearly, I'm happy to do that. And I'm happy to stand with incredible public servants like your senior senators. So let's work hard together. Let's make sure this election is successful all up and down the ticket here in this county. And let's make sure that we send a clear message to everybody across America that good, common sense, conservative government and leaders who practice it deserve and have earned our support. So thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.